So the last few days we've been having a bit of a sort out in the calves house. We've fully weaned another 4 and they've gone next door now. We don't wean them until they've been dehorned. Picasso here was actually due to be dehorned with his sister Beaver. She was done, but he threw a temperature of 106.4, so we never dehorn them if they're poorly, because it's quite stressful for them, even though we use a numbing injection, and they get Metacam as well for pain relief afterwards. We just don't like them to have to go through that stress when they're not feeling very well anyway. He's absolutely fine now, so he'll be dehorned some point this week. They're just on milk once a day, the 2 of them, and then they'll go next door with the other 20 odd that are already weaned. Sick boy, who I've introduced before, who isn't sick as such, that was just a name that he got because he got poorly. He didn't get dehorned either because he had a sort of fungal infection in his navel, so we had to put him on penicillin to clear that up, so he'll be dehorned with Picasso this week. That's little one. He's not poorly at all, but he's just a very, very shy little animal. So his rug is on just purely for a little bit of extra comfort for him. Actually, she doesn't drink milk and hasn't. She is old enough, so we're not worried at all, and eating plenty of nuts and drinks a lot of water. We actually give her warm water just so it's not freezing cold when she drinks it. She's actually getting quite friendly now. Every day I spend a little bit of time with her, just smoothing her coat down and talking to her, and she's actually coming around really well. So her rug is purely just for that little bit of extra comfort. And today we put Sick Boy in with her, and they've joined up really well together. A bit of company for them both. Picasso and Beaver have been together for over a week now, and they absolutely love each other. They are actually brother and sister, well, from the same farm anyway, so they will have the same father. We've emptied out the bottom pens down there just because they were getting a bit wet. You can see on the floor sort of the juice from underneath was starting to come through. So my boyfriend today cleaned out all of these pens all the way down, which is, there's a lot of dung outside there. Disinfected it. Agar, I believe, Agrizar we use, and I spray down everything inside the pens when they've been cleaned out. We let them just dry a little bit, and then fresh bedding on top, and they've still got their own buckets there, so it's just drier for them, and we'll clean those bottom pens out. We didn't get any new calves this week because I've actually been quite unwell, just waiting for test results to come back at the moment. So but I've been feeling quite poorly, and obviously with the coronavirus going to market where there are a lot of people sort of buying and selling, it's not the right thing to do when I don't actually know what I've got at the moment anyway. So it will just give us a bit of an extra week to get a lot of these weaned and dehorned. We've only got, I think, 13 calves left to buy until we get to the 50 that we wanted to do this year. All the calves in here have actually been doing really well. We haven't had any illness in here at all this week. We've had a couple, 4 or 5 next door that have had a bit of a high temperature, so they've got rugs on as well, and they've been treated with between 11 and 12 mil of Alamycin long acting and 2.5 to 3 mil of Metacam, depending on the size of them. We are now very, very gradually starting to introduce a bit of the beef rearer nuts in with their creep. They've actually got a bigger pen now as well. My boyfriend moved everything down probably about 10 feet, because there's, I say, 20 odd calves in here now, and they're doing really well. And you can just see there's just a very few of the beef rearer nuts in there. Just getting them used to If you do it too quickly, it can upset their stomachs and give them scours. So I like to do it over a month, really, at this age. 10 weeks is the minimum to put them on beef-rearer nuts anyway. But I do like to do it very, very gradually to make sure that their guts are working well. Those next door are getting a little bit of silage. Now their rumens are working. They're used to being on hard feed, and they've been off milk for a few weeks. They're still getting plenty of straw in the straw rack there next door, which again helps their rumen, helps them digest their food and get the most out of what we're actually giving them. So everyone's doing pretty well in here, really. This little one's just got a little red blanket on. Very slight temperature the other day, but he is one of the younger ones, so it's better to be safe and just keep them a bit warmer. The last week it has been extremely cold here. Everything's been frozen in the morning, so it is just keeping them that little bit warmer. As I said, I make the rugs myself. They're thick enough to give them a bit of warmth, but not too thick that they get hot in them or get too used to having them. So I've shown this before, but this is my medicine cupboard, which is lockable with a key. And what I always keep is a good supply of brand new needles, different size syringes. This is syringes that have been used but sterilised again, so they're fine. Adrenocane, which is what we use for numbing the horn bud before dehorning. I do the injecting myself. Metacam. I do also write the date on the bottles as well, big bottles like this, in case the labels get rubbed off. I use this with the Alamycin. When they have a high temperature, it helps to bring the temperature down. And the calves also get free meal after they've been dehorned, just for a little bit of pain relief when the anaesthetic wears off. And then pen and strep, just the normal pen and strep. And I've got another big supply of needles in there. I've got 100 of each. I use the green ones, which are 21 gauge, and the pink ones, which are 18 gauge, I believe. Pen and strep I use for any naval infections, if we ever get any feet problems. And I have also got, which I'm not sure where it is, oh, it's down here, with the dehorning stuff after they've been dehorned with a burner. We use this as well just to keep any infection at bay, and if they had any little wounds, which can happen sometimes, or sore feet, then I use that spray as well, or just general purple spray. So not much has really happened this week, which has been quite nice, as I haven't been feeling very well, apart from the few sick that we've had next door, but they're with that dose of Alamycin and the Metacam and just a little blanket on, they're recovering really quickly, sort of within 24 hours, so not much to worry about really. So that's about it really, just keeping everybody calm and happy and clean, as tidy as possible. These are all eating their nuts really well. Quite a few of them are actually eating half of one of these calf buckets a day, so that's really good. So by the time they come off the milk, they're already well away on the nuts, so they've got a really good head start. So that's it for this week.